Could LeBron make all NBA at age 45? Kobe was done at 37. Barry Sanders walked away at 30, still in his prime, but done with the grind. Peyton Manning, by 39, his neck gave out. And even a Super Bowl farewell couldn't hide that he couldn't hang with the big boys anymore. Legends, icons, GOATs in their own right, all forced to bow to Father Time. And then there's LeBron James.
Rebound hustling is Christie. To the cutting James. Oh! With the left hand, and he makes the steal!
The king at 40, whilst most folks are Googling best orthopedic pillows or how to survive a midlife crisis. Bron's out here rewriting history as the oldest player ever to snag an all-NBA spot. At an age where most legends are sipping margaritas on some beach, LeBron was still out here cooking defenders half his age. But what if I told you there's a world where he doesn't stop at 40 or 41 or even 44? What if he's still hooping at 45? Not just playing, but still one of the 15 best players alive. Sounds insane, right? It should be. But LeBron's entire career is basically a highlight reel of you thought that was impossible? So today, we're asking the wildest what if in NBA history. Could LeBron James actually make all NBA at 45?
Garnett comes out on LeBron. Now they switch, and here's Pierce again. A Smith screen. Posey will defend. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
Let's find out. When we talk about athletes defying time, the list is shorter than a bench warmer's stat line. Like, we're talking about a handful of absolute freaks who push their bodies further than anyone thought possible. In the NBA, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made it to 42, still dropping skyhooks in his farewell tour. Vince Carter reinvented himself and stretched it to 43. Robert Parrish, Udonis Haslem, they hung on until 43 too. But by then, they were more locker room voices, not impact players. And that's the difference. Playing into your 40s is one thing. Playing all NBA basketball in your 40s, that's like trying to dunk on the sun. Look outside basketball and you'll find the rare aliens who pulled it off. Tom Brady slinging touchdowns at 45. Serena Williams battling the best in the world into her 40s. But if LeBron James is going to make all NBA at 45, he wouldn't just be stretching what's possible. He'd have to shatter every rule we thought we knew about aging, why it's actually possible. Here's where it gets interesting. LeBron isn't just hanging around the way some of these aging legends did. He's still the engine that makes everything run. And the reason isn't just completely insane. The man treats his body like a billion-dollar corporation, because that's exactly what it is. We're talking $1.5 million per year on recovery tech alone, cryotherapy chambers that look like something from the future, custom sleep labs, hyperbaric oxygen chambers.
You know, for athletes, it's kind of a no-brainer if you can kind of have the time and the investment to use it. And, you know, he'll be in there for about an hour and a half, which is probably about the optimal time to be in there for.
10 o'clock, T-Ball.
10 o'clock, you got it.
His nutrition plan? It's stricter than a referee's whistle in crunch time. Personal trainers, biomechanic gurus, you name it. Every single detail of his existence is engineered to keep Father Time guessing. But it's not just his body. LeBron's game has evolved too. Young LeBron was all about raw power, bulldozing through defenders and dunking everything in sight. 2025 LeBron, he controls the pace, picks defenses apart with surgical passing, and punishes teams with deep freeze. That's why this isn't a Vince Carter situation, where you hang around as a role player in your 40s. LeBron's skill set, his vision, his IQ, his ability to bend the game to his will, those things don't age the same way vertical leap does. If anything, they become sharper. But here's the catch. Just making it to 45 isn't enough. Not even close. Half the league could probably hang around until 40 if they wanted to ride the bench and collect paychecks. But all NBA at 45? That's not about surviving. That's about being one of the 50 best players on earth. It's not just about hanging around, hitting a couple of jumpers, and waving to the crowd. to make All-NBA at 45. LeBron would have to pass the same brutal test as everyone else, stay healthy, play real minutes, put up impact numbers, and do it all in a league that's only getting faster, younger, and more cutthroat every season. That's not just stretching the limit of what's possible, that's bending the game itself. And it gets even tougher because All-NBA isn't just about talent anymore. There are rules. Since the new CBA kicked in, every player has to clear a brutal checkpoint. At least 65 games played with 20+ minutes in each of them. You can sneak in a couple of near misses at 15 to 19 minutes, but that's it. Miss too many games for rest or injuries and you're out, period. No exceptions for legends, not even for the king. And it doesn't stop there. All-NBA is now positionless. That means no more forward slots where LeBron can slide in. He's competing head-to-head with the very best. Jokic, Wembanyama, Luka, Shea, Tatum, Ant, and the next wave of stars tearing up the league 5 years from now. So, let's be crystal clear. This isn't about lasting. This is about being healthy, available, and elite in a league overflowing with young killers. So, how realistic is this, really? Let's zoom out and look at where LeBron is right now at age 40. In the 2024-25 season, LeBron put up 24.4 points, 8.2 assists, and 7.8 rebounds across 70 games. 70. That's not a farewell tour. That's not a victory lap. Those are all-star MVP caliber numbers from a guy who should be retired, coaching Bronny, or starring in Space Jam 3. The league knows it too. LeBron snagged his 21st All-Star nod, a record so untouchable it might as well be carved in stone. He's still one of the game's best playmakers, still capable of taking over games, and when he locks in, he's still clamping opponents like it's 2012. While most 40-year-olds are creaking up the stairs, LeBron's out here dunking in traffic on players, 25-year-olds who grew up watching him on TV. That's the baseline. That's why we're even having this conversation. So, if he's doing this at 40, what could 45 even look like? Fast forward to 2030. LeBron at 45 isn't the same guy soaring for coast-to-coast dunks or dropping 40 in a playoff game. His game would evolve again. His minutes probably drop into the 28-30 per night range. Scoring probably settles around 16 to 18 points. But here's the deal. The efficiency could still be elite because his game has evolved past just raw athleticism. LeBron already shoots over 40% from free and bursts. At 45, imagine him leaning into that, becoming a volume sniper, punishing defenses for sagging off, and still running an offense through his passing. Think less runaway freight train and more 6'9" Chris Paul with a jumper. The beautiful part, LeBron could realistically lead the NBA in assists at 45, dishing out 10 to 11 per game while he orchestrates instead of hunts for his own shot. We're talking 16 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists per night. That's not just a double-double. That's the kind of unique league-leading production that forces all NBA voters to pay attention. He wouldn't need to carry the Lakers or whatever team he's on every single game. By then, he could be running pick and rolls with Bronny in the backcourt and Bryce on the wing. Imagine making All-NBA while also being the ultimate basketball dad. What he'd need: consistency, steady averages, strong impact, and just enough highlight plays to remind everyone he's still that dude. But let's pump the brakes for a second, because even if anyone could pull this off, the road to 45 is brutal. First off, the body. Father Time has never lost. At 45, wear and tear isn't just about how high you can jump. It's about whether your back, knees, and ankles even let you play 65 games. An 82-game season with back-to-backs and cross-country flights don't care if you're LeBron or a bench guy. At 25, you can hoop, hit the club, and still ball out the next day. At 45, you're icing your knees and your taxes. Then there are injuries, the silent assassin. You can outsmart defenses, outtrain fatigue, but you can't outrun cartilage damage. One bad ankle tweak at 45 could feel like a season ender. Recovery at that age isn't days, it's weeks, maybe even months. And don't forget the competition. The NBA in 2030 will belong to stars like Luka, Shea, Wemby, Tatum, and the next wave of teenagers who'll be entering their primes ready to dominate. LeBron at 45 wouldn't just have to be good, he'd have to be good enough to outshine an entirely new generation that grew up watching his highlights. Finally, speed. By 45, LeBron's not blowing past defenders like he's starring in Fast and Furious. His game would rely on smarts, not sprints. The challenges are brutal, no question. But if anyone's built for this, it's the guy who's been rewriting the clock his entire career. If his body holds up, if he leans into efficiency, if he can anchor a winning team, there's a world, a slim, wild, incredible world, where 45-year-old LeBron isn't just playing, he's dominating. He's forcing voters to etch his name on all NBA ballots one last time as the ultimate mic drop. History says no one's done this, but LeBron, he's been rewriting history since he was 18. And if there's anyone who could flip Father Time's script upside down, it's the King. So, what do you think? Could LeBron pull off this insane feat? Or is it just a dream too wild to come true? Drop your takes in the comments. This debate's just heating up. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got plenty more wild what-if scenarios on the way. See you in the next one.